Hello, and welcome back to Life and Life Science, hosted by myself, Stephen Gannon. Today's very exciting. It's episode 5. Very chuffed to have gotten this far. We've spoken to some fantastic leaders across many sectors, and today is no different. Joining me today is the super connector himself, Anil Kumar. He is the brains behind a bespoke research house by the name of Pharma Targeting. These guys have got offices across India, Latin America, EMEA, and the UK. I'm a big fan of Anil's. I've seen many of his videos. He's no stranger to putting a face to the camera. And yeah, he was kind enough to jump on board with me today. So Anil, how's life? How are you? Keeping well?
Yeah, very good, Stephen. I'm trying to stay busy, trying to stay fit, as you can see behind. I'm trying to reinvest in health this year. Got a bit too carried away with the mince pies last year, but I'm trying to make up for it.
Yourself? I can tell you, you're not the only one, that's for sure. I'm good. I've also started going back to the gym, which is good. Finally got a haircut. I don't think it looks any better, but it's certainly shorter. Anil, I was put in contact with yourself by Callum Stevens over at BDG. Superb guy. Really fun to have on. He was actually on episode 1. He described you as loud and proud, which is always great. It's the type of people I like to associate myself with. I thought we'd kick off a little bit. I know, from my research into Pharma Targeting, I know as a company, you're very much focused on giving back to the community and, taking the success that you've made yourself and, as I say, spreading it and sharing with as much as possible. So do you want to kick us off with a bit of info into, what it is you're doing outside of the business from a kind of more personal view of helping and where you can, really?
Sure, absolutely. So, I mean, we always try to give a little back in the local communities that give to Pharma Targeting. So, we are mainly, our major offices are, even though we're in 5 locations, our major offices are London, Mumbai, and Buenos Aires. So the first thing we do is, from a grassroots, is our recruitment. Our recruitment will often be from local universities. We have relationships with all universities in 3 cities. For example, HQ is London. We have a relationship with UCL. And this year we are bringing in 25 graduate students, the master's grad students, to come and do projects. They'll all get intensive mentoring from 4 or 5 different people. They'll stay with us for a few months. And many of them will stay on and work with Pharma Targeting. So, we do that right across the board. So it really starts there. But then we do a lot of corporate social responsibility. It's not something that we have to do from a mandatory point of view. But for example, in India this year, we're putting somewhere between 100 and 150 computers into small villages where they wouldn't have access to IT. We've been doing that for years. We're putting clean water into villages as well. Wow. So water aid, again, where there's just no clean water. And we've been doing that for a little while. And one of the projects I'm working on right now is to set up an orphanage and a school kind of built into one. So, a split school with one side where it'll be totally private. And then that's the paying side. And then the other side where we'll bring orphans in, give homeless children in, give them a place to live, and they get schooled to that high quality. And we're setting it up so the whole thing pays for itself. So we'll be there hopefully hundreds of years, after we're all gone. So that's the current project. And, if there's anyone that wants to get involved, clients or anyone else that wants to help, we're more than happy to accelerate that process.
Absolutely. It certainly seems like you're building out a nice legacy to hopefully not for a long time, but something to leave behind you, and for your name to be remembered. So massive props for that. Anybody that takes time out to do stuff like that deserves a good pat on the back. I guess moving away from the kind of personal side of things, it's always great to get an understanding from the horse's mouth, as they say, as to exactly what it is you do. So do you want to take, a quick bit of time and just give us an understanding of what it is you guys do exactly at Pharma Targeting?
Sure. So Pharma Targeting, we're very unique as a company. I don't think anyone else does anything like what we do. And the reason we're unique is we work exclusively with pharmaceutical service providers looking to do business with pharma and biotech. So we work with CROs, CMOs, packaging companies, drug delivery, et cetera, and we work with them on our 3-step process. It's almost like a framework that we can help those people to more efficiently and effectively commercialize their services and goods or equipment. So step 1 is called the market mapper, where we take, we pay something like £250,000 a year for data. We have a team of 150 analysts. We have about 10 in-house consultants. All of these guys work for Pharma Targeting. That's, pharma consultants, strategy consultants, BD consultants, et cetera, and they will then help those clients or service providers who work with something like about 150 service providers to position each and every part of their service to the market. So with the 3 steps are the market mapper, where we find the companies that they can work with, tag them, build strategy around who they should target, and this is where the consultants really come into play. Step 2 is then bespoke contact research. So we custom find the right people that they need to target for that particular business unit or that particular product, understand the event needs of that product, and then use step 3, which is the digital marketing, to go and then engage with the market. So it's very unique. It's a total custom solution, so no 2 clients work in the same way.
Yeah.
In short, Pharma Targeting is really what we're trying to build. Is Pharma Targeting is really the only place that service providers should go to if they're looking to go to market.
It's really interesting, almost like a one-stop shop, whatever the saying goes. Look, it certainly sounds like the team do go the extra mile. It's always great to get a better understanding. And the business itself is fantastic, but it's your story that quite fascinates me. It reminds me of a Jeff Benzo from Amazon style story. From my background research and stuff, I know that you kind of started off in a tiny little office, and obviously you've built the company up to now where you are of 200 strong over the past 7 years. So I like to think I'm quite entrepreneurial myself and I have big plans for my future. But if you were to go back in time, is there any advice that you could maybe give to somebody who's in the position you were 7 years ago with big ambitions to progress a company and grow a company as you have?
Absolutely. I think one thing is probably to have a little bit of ADHD. So I'm almost regimented in the way that I challenge myself to push myself even further. I started Pharma Targeting in my bedroom, and it's, I guess it's my passion for sales and talking to people that I just managed to convert into almost a new kind of model where we can just help people. In terms of advice, I would say just do something that you really enjoy. I do a lot of self-development. I read a lot of books, and the one thing the one pattern I get from all of these people, and you're very kind calling me Jeff Bezos. I'm nowhere near to that level, obviously. But,
not just yet, anyway.
Well, I'm not sure, but the one thing that people have is that if you do something that you enjoy, you've got to really be obsessed with it. So it's something that you've got to almost live, breathe night and day. I'm 200% into Pharma Targeting. We've got a model of reinvesting everything that we make. Really always driving growth and infrastructure at the same time, side by side. So growth never stifles, but really just try to help people. Find a gap, see where you can genuinely help someone, where you can make a positive change, and really hone in on your why. And our why is to help our clients get more commercially successful, and really just to help them. It's that simple. Our why is so defined to just those 2 things.
Absolutely. No, it makes complete sense. If you don't have a passion for something, it's not really going to do you any favors, is it? But look, Anil, it's been really enjoyable. It's been great to get a bit of an insight into what it is you do as a person outside of your business, how your business operates, and also those tips and trips that you've just shared for others who may want to follow in a similar path to you. So all I can do is thank you very much for joining me.